This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Choosing Liberty in California Policy Reform by Rodgir Cohen. Chapter 1. The Role of Occupational Licensure in Creating Poverty and Free Ways to Get Out of It. Introduction. Are the socioeconomic conditions in which individuals live entirely the result of their own actions? It is impossible for a reasonable individual to answer yes to this question. Our socioeconomic conditions are shaped by several factors that depend entirely on chance. The country of your birth, who your parents are, the kind of social environment you grew up in, the schools you attended, your natural talents, and whether you live in a society that values these talents, are environmental factors that develop beyond your control. If environmental factors dominate a person's life, their control over what happens to them will be minimal. Responding to this reason, social programs aim to meet the basic needs of disadvantaged groups by providing financial aid without making any connection between individual actions and poverty. However, public policies can address some environmental factors, increasing productivity and helping individuals live a more fulfilling life. The fact that South American migrants in the U.S. quickly tripled their incomes reflects established economic and legal conditions in the U.S., not individual abilities. South American immigrants are more productive in the U.S. than in their home countries, as the U.S. offers better protection for their rights and freedoms, especially their economic freedom and private property. Hence, although many environmental factors cannot be changed, some can, and these will increase individual development significantly. These changes relate to public policies that promote the freedom to work, the personal development of individuals, and the protection of private property. Compared to other states, California has generous social welfare programs. Federal and state anti-poverty programs in California spend more than $100 billion each year, representing nearly $15,000 per poor Californian. Tanner, 2021. However, California does not outperform other states in fighting poverty. Even before the pandemic, according to the U.S. Census Bureau's Supplemental Poverty Measure, approximately 7 million Californians, 17.2% of the state population, lived below the poverty threshold. This poverty rate is the highest in the country. Furthermore, the California Poverty Measure, CPM, co-produced by the Stanford Center on Poverty and Inequality and the Public Policy Institute of California, indicates that 35.2% of Californians live in poverty or are close to it. Tanner, 2021. Do these statistics mean that the social safety net is ineffective in fighting poverty? The answer is both yes and no. Estimates suggest that in the absence of social programs, the poverty rate would be about 18% higher in California, Mattingly, et al., 2019. Hence, the social safety net has a noticeable effect on reducing poverty. However, social programs still fail to eradicate relative poverty because their primary goal is to reduce the material deprivation of the poor, not to equip the poor with the talents and opportunities to create personal prosperity. The poor's access to adequate food, shelter, and healthcare takes precedence over other needs or emergencies. Tanner, 2021. California's high poverty rate is not linked to its economy, as the state's GDP of approximately $3 trillion would make it the world's sixth largest economy if it were a country. This figure indicates an annual per capita income of around $80,000. The average poverty threshold for a family of 2 adults and 2 children in California is $35,500. United States Census Bureau, 2022. Given these figures and the state's large, growing economy, why is poverty in California higher than the U.S. average? This question could be answered at great length, but a brief list of the main factors that cause poverty provides immediate answers. High housing costs, unfair criminal laws, inadequate education and workforce development, poorly designed social programs, and exclusionary economic regulations. It would be easy to extend the list, but all these factors have a fundamental problem in common. Many laws.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.